This will be take one. Last summer, 2010, in mid-June, Terry and I were beside ourselves in watching the plans for the BLM. All right, one more time.
You can cut and paste.
Okay. Almost exactly a year ago, this time, last year in 2010, Terry and I were beside ourselves with the plans that the BLM was making to eradicate our national icons, the wild horses and burros, in our western United States, on our public lands. Last year, almost at this very time in the summer of 2010, Terry and myself were extremely upset as private citizens with the plans and the future actions that the BLM was going to take against our national icons, the wild horses and burros upon our public lands. Frustrated at what we could do to help, we decided to contact an animal law attorney, actually several of them, and put together a plan to do research in how we could possibly, as private citizens, either stop or slow down what we felt then and feel now is an illegal activity by a federal agency that is charged with protecting our wild horses, and instead they have activated a wild horse harvesting machine and have now more horses in holding than there are left on the range. At the turn of the century, there were 2 million wild horses on our millions and millions of acres of public lands. Now, in all reality, we're lucky if there's probably 18 to 20,000 with 45,000 plus horses in short and long-term holding at a cost to us and you as tax-paying Americans. And this year, this very year, starting July 1, only a few days away from when this taping has occurred, we're going to be out there spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in helicopter stampedes to gather up more horses that don't need to be, quote, gathered up, to put them in long-term holding at your expense. I really, at this stage of life, cannot believe that being a veteran of two armed conflicts, I consider myself to be a staunch American, believing in the proper values here as far as earning a living, voting, and all the rest, that we find ourselves in the position of actually suing our own government in an effort to get them to stop wasting our money and to cease and desist with their inhumane activity. Overall, this is why we got involved. Is that not correct?
It certainly is.
Okay. Cut. Now on West Douglas. West Douglas. Currently, with the Wild Horse Freedom Federation, brought forward by Habitat for Horses Advisory Council, we have two active cases, both the North Piceance and also the West Douglas herd. We initiated our legal actions last year. The BLM went ahead and did conduct a stampede, gather, roundup for North Piceance, and are again going to try to do it this year. We have that case in appeals in New York City. But the West Douglas case, both of these are Colorado herds. We've won two victories, inasmuch as both last year and this year, the BLM has withdrawn their environmental assessment and said they will not gather, which when you say gather to me, I think that's like gathering posies, Easter eggs or something of that sort. But it still remains within their statement and their plans that they want to eradicate and remove the horses of West Douglas as soon as it's practicable. So we've had those two victories as far as stopping it, but just as of late, the BLM has asked the court to dismiss our case either in part or in full, and that request has been denied by the court. So we stand vigilant in stopping and holding the BLM back from zeroing out and wiping out the West Douglas herd. Okay?
You couldn't get